Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about moving to Florida. Things are changing, but is it enough? We're getting after that next. Hey everybody, my name's Craig Cunha. I am a real estate agent here in Southwest Florida. If you're looking for a channel that will tell you more about what it's like to live, play, eat, sleep, and buy real estate on the Gulf Coast, then this is the channel for you. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell to make sure you're notified every time a new video comes out, and please leave a comment down below about something you might want to know more about. I get calls from people every single day and I absolutely love it. So if you've got a question you need an answer to, you've got to call, text, or email because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast. Okay, moving to Florida. Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on. I've been sharing how all the snowbirds are going to be coming back, how busy things have been here. There's just growth everywhere, including our team. We're adding a number of new agents. I'm going to start introducing them each week, let you guys know who you could expect to potentially be seeing if you have answers to questions that maybe I'm not available to answer. I want to be there for every single one of you, but obviously I only have so much time in a day to help. But I have all these people that are going to be working with me. They're going to work with the same processes. So if you've listened to my video for any amount of time, you know exactly how we're going to run things. We're going to do the process, and you're going to be successful like the other 50 plus people that have done it this year. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the things going on in Florida. Florida just, as of today, October 1st, and yes, this is a late night recording, so you're going to see this video on the 2nd, but as of when I'm recording, you're going to see whatever. The minimum wage in Florida was raised to $10 an hour. It was raised from $8.69 an hour. That is the largest jump in minimum wage in the state's history. So while they're trying to do more to bring the wages up, we're going to talk about what the home prices are. We're going to talk about what the median rent price is. And I think you're going to quickly see that even that minimum wage, $10 an hour, yes, it helps some people, but for the numbers we're talking about, it's not going to go as far as it needs to go. Other news today, you will want to get a transponder for your vehicle if you're living in Cape Coral and having to go to Fort Myers to work or vice versa, because anybody that does not have a transponder that goes to the toll booth will now be hit with a $3 fee on top of the normal toll. Now that's crazy for some people because the actual toll to go from Cape Coral to Fort Myers on the two bridges, Veterans Bridge, Cape Coral Bridge, it's $2. So that $3 administrative fee is now more than what the actual toll is. So you're talking $5 for every time you're doing that. It's not worth it. Get the transponder, go back to, it's not even $2. There's a discount rate on it. So it's less than the $2. Get the transponder. I'll stick a link down below for leeway. So you'll be able to click on that, find out how to get to it. We talked about it in a recent video, but I'm going to put it down below again to make sure that you're covered so that you're saving money. Because the other place you're going to go, the Sanibel Bridge, trust me, you want to go to Sanibel. You want to check out Lighthouse Beach. You want to check out that island. It's awesome. Go all the way up to Captiva, South Seas Resorts. Tween Waters is up there. You're going to want to go up. So if you go out there, the bridge is normally a $6 toll. Well, that administrative fee goes on that as well. So now you're paying $9 to get over to Sanibel for a single trip. You don't want to do this. Get the transponder. Save yourself the trouble. Again, check the link below. All right, so what we're going to talk about real quick is the median prices for rent and buying. The rentals have been absolutely crazy. I'm going to focus on single family homes initially, only because of the fact that most people I talk to, they don't really want a condo. They don't really want an apartment. They want a house. And a lot of times with a pool. I did not even look for pools in this search, but median home price rentals in Cape Coral, $2,000 is your median. And the lowest price right now to look for a rental in Cape Coral, single family home, is $2,000. There's 14 of them in total in the whole 120 square miles of space. For an annual rental, there's 14. Now, seasonal stuff obviously is completely separate. It's so hard to screen for that because it's on a rolling calendar, kind of like VRBO and Airbnb. So it's very difficult to do it through the MLS. So I'm looking for annual only for those folks that are coming down, want to feel the area for the year before they decide to buy, or at least for a longer period of time. Now, Fort Myers, very similar in numbers, 17 active on the market for available rentals of single-family homes. And the price of these start at $1,750, but the median on this is $2,300 a month. So you can see it is not inexpensive to rent anywhere between Fort Myers and Cape Coral. And it only gets more expensive as you go south. It's not going down in price. It's not even plateauing. It just continues to escalate. So if you're able to purchase, let's talk about what you can do on the purchase side of things. When you're buying in Cape Coral, there's been a trend where you're going to see the median price for a single family home, it's going up $5,000 to $10,000 a month. It seems like it's staying on that pattern throughout the year, but once again, it continues to go up. That's not helping, I get that. Fort Myers, oddly enough, it went up, it spiked in July, and then it's starting to drop again. It's dropped $12,000 since July. It was almost $400,000 at that point as a median, but it came back down. Why did it come back down? I don't know. We're just gonna have to watch the patterns as it continues. But I will tell you one thing that happened today is that the rates just went back up over 3%. They were hanging around 2.8 for a number of weeks. Now they're over 3. Yes, small adjustment, but in our brains, we say, ooh, it's going up. I'm not going to do anything now because it'll come back down. Stop thinking that. Don't fool yourself. This could be the best the rates are. In fact, Freddie Mac is projecting that by the end of this year, that the rates are going to be 3.4%, and by the end of next year, as much as 3.8%, which is darn near 4%. That is a whole percentage from where we are now. Do the math on it and see if a mortgage for you would really change with that 1%. It may not change that much, but who wants to pay more for something if they don't have to? So in this crazy, crazy market, buyers are stressing. 30% of the buyers out there said they know they overpaid for their house. 32% of those 30, they know they overpaid by $52,000 or more. And 55% of the people said they wish they knew more about the closing process. They just don't understand how everything works. The numbers don't make sense. You know what? Ask the person that you're getting the information from. So if it's a title company giving you a good faith estimate, remember those words, they'll give you a layout of all the fees to expect for your closing date. They'll use the date of what the proposed closing is, and they should be able to line item taxes and any other fee that goes into the process. All right, now as far as Florida itself, some things that aren't changing. The absolutely gorgeous skylines at night. This week has been phenomenal. The colors in the skies, you see the backdrop on here now. This is last night when I was golfing with my buddies. We're about to wrap up our season because you can see it's getting dark before we can even finish. But that's just what we look forward to here in Florida. The temperatures are starting to level out, or at least the humidity starting to leave us. And a 80 degree or high 70 degree night can still feel cool to us because the humidity's dropping. That's what we look forward to. That's what we love. And the colors in the sky have just made that absolutely phenomenal. Now, with these sunsets, the other nice thing about it is as long as there's some open space, it doesn't matter whether the sunset's on water or a golf course or just some open vacant land. Oh, let's talk about open vacant land, because the Northwest and much of the Northeast still has open vacant land. And you might say to yourself, well, that's kind of ugly. It's kind of open. I want a finished neighborhood. I want to see the houses. I want to see the trees. You know, I was talking to a client the other day, and the one thing that we came about in our conversation was, you know what? I kind of would like that open air area because the breezes don't get stopped by the other houses, by all the trees, by all that stuff. So if you're somebody that likes a little space around yourself and wants to catch these breezes that I talk about, these coastal breezes, you can go to the Northwest and have all of that. Don't be concerned about the well and septic because we also have whole home reverse osmosis systems that will give you better water quality than what you can get from the city. Now, water quality, can we talk about that? I'm not going to talk about the water quality per se. You've heard me say the words Cape Coral cocktail before. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about the water treatment plants. We have some water treatment plants here. And if you aren't aware of it, they're in certain locations. And on the right day, with the right amount of humidity and the right winds, you might pick up the scent of hard-boiled eggs. That sulfur smell. It's going to be in the air. It's going to be dense. It's going to be thick. And it could be a complete turnoff in some cases. So if this is something you absolutely know that you can't deal with even just once, twice, 3 times, half dozen times for the year, then you want to take that into consideration when you're looking for your home. Because once you move in there, if that's the case, you're kind of going to live with it now. The other odd thing about Cape Coral in particular is mailboxes don't really get put in the same spot in every neighborhood. Some neighborhoods, they're on their own side of the road. So if the house is there, the mailbox is with it. In other areas, all the mailboxes run the whole side. So you could technically have 2 to 3 mailboxes on your property, depending on what the alignment of the homes across the street is with your home. And that would probably be annoying. Thankfully, I live on a turn, so a very, very small front yard. Not much space for that kind of stuff to happen to me. Thank you. But I've seen it. You'll see it here as we roll down the road. It's going to be that way. That's just how it was set up. What I believe it is that some of the neighborhoods that are more open and spread out, they keep them on the same side so the mailman only has to go down the road one time. But as the neighborhood fills in, they will end up putting them on both sides because now there's enough homes to actually necessitate going up and down. But you'll see the older, more established neighborhoods, that's where they have the mailboxes on their own side of the road. I have to share something with you that happened to me last night. I told you about the golf league, beautiful sunsets. I'm driving home and there's a lot of 4-way stops, right? A lot of people don't even know how to do these things. That's why I think they're starting to do the roundabouts, which I don't know that people know how to use those any better. But I stopped the stop sign. I went through and something made me look in my rear view mirror, and the truck that I saw coming as I went through the 4-way kept flying through. Literally 45, 50 miles an hour. Didn't stop, didn't slow down. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know if they purposely did it. I don't know if it was an accident, but all I can say is thank God that I got through that intersection before that guy did. Pay attention, especially in the Northwest. There is a lot of open space up there. There's no lights as far as street lights. And again, our actual lighting of the streets is very sparse as well. You're going to also find no sidewalks. Lots of things up there that could become hazardous. If you're somebody who wants to go out for a walk on the streets at night, carry some kind of a flashlight, wear light clothing. Don't wear dark stuff. I'm going to bring this up real quick. I'm leaving my son's baseball game the other day, and I'm driving through a residential neighborhood. It's already built up, but there's no lights on the streets. And I'm turning the corner, and I almost fell out of my seat because there's a guy walking along the street in dark clothing. I couldn't see him. I almost hit the guy. And I'm fairly responsible. I don't go speeding around everywhere. Sometimes I do, but not everywhere. And in this case, I was not, but wow, that was a shocker. So wear light clothing, carry a flashlight, do stuff like that if your neighborhood doesn't have lights, because a lot of these neighborhoods don't have lights or sidewalks. All right, as far as the closing process, another thing that you would want to know about is the connection to utilities. You can connect almost every utility or have it aligned for a closing date, except for your water. The water and sewer cannot be done until you actually close. And what I've been advising my folks to do, because the title companies are getting really good at this, if you go to, in Cape Coral's case, capecoral.net, and fill out the application for water service there, take that application to the closing, they will send your closing disclosure along with the application to the city of Cape Coral to turn on your water. And yes, water is one of those weird things. I just found this out the other day. I've been doing this forever, and finally somebody explained, why in the heck do I have to have a closing disclosure to say I want to pay for the water? Because water is the one thing that follows the property, not the person. So it doesn't matter who moves in and out necessarily. That water bill is attached to the address. Electric is attached to the person. So if you move multiple locations, you can take your electric service, just say, hey, I'm moving over here, move it over there. It's an oddity, but it's one of those things you need to be aware of, because if you do not fill out that application and it gets shut off, it could be a couple days in some cases before you get it hooked up. Things are delayed everywhere. Stay ahead of it. Stay on top of it. I'll give you all the links for the utilities you're going to need when it comes time to close, so you'll be set going forward. All right, I'm going to hit on another topic that always comes up when I speak to people. In fact, it's one of the first things we talk about after we do the portal setup. You're going to drive a neighborhood, and you're driving the areas for a reason. You might have heard this before. If you have, please bear with me, because it's so important. You're driving an area because I don't have time to drive you around. You want to see everything about a neighborhood and not be surprised later. Trust me, I've had clients surprised later when working with other agents that were just baffled how they didn't know about it. Drive the neighborhood, see how close it's to the grocery store, the gas station, where you're going to work, the airport, the interstate, the beaches. Make sure that all aligns. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I can find you a house in any of these neighborhoods that'll work for you, but you need to know what neighborhood's going to feel good rolling into. All right, I talked a little bit about the expansion and the growth and everything that's going on around here. Well, guess what? RSW, our international airport, is growing again. It's a 3-year construction plan to blow this thing out. They're going to put more vendors inside. They're going to be expanding the seating areas. They're going to be expanding the whole darn thing, because we're growing so fast. We can't take the number of people that are actually going to the airport now. So this is going to be a huge project. It's going to bring a lot more jobs, much like the Amazon stuff that we talked about just last week. That fulfillment center is going to be a huge job infusion. There's a bunch of other we have some kind of a Joe's Farmers Market or something coming in here in Cape Coral. We just added a Crunch Fitness that's a 2 or 3 story building. We've got another medical and surgical center coming in. All these businesses are coming in because we've got space and we've got a huge population that's taking over the area. So again, if you're looking for jobs, we have jobs. We'll have more jobs. It's a matter of what job would be good for you. Now, one thing that happens as we get close to season or in season is a lot of events start happening. And there's a huge one happening. This happens once a year. Punta Gorda Airport, there's an air show this weekend. I've done this with my son before. It's an awesome event to try. You can go through some of the planes and sit in some of the planes. They're going to have all kinds of demonstrations. They're going to have different planes racing each other. There's going to be jets. There's going to be props. There's going to be all kinds of things that'll show up to this. If you haven't done it, check it out, the Punta Gorda Airport. I'll put a link down below to the air show. Click that, get tickets, show up, check it out. It's an awesome thing to try. Another thing that's happening is next weekend, I was hoping to have my boat for next weekend, but it's not going to happen because the Roar by the Shore, the offshore racing, is coming back to Fort Myers Beach next weekend. And unfortunately, I'm going to be watching from the shore again. But it's another one of those big events. If you haven't seen it before, it's really cool. You can feel the engines, the rumble of those engines in yourself, and you see these things ripping by, just tremendous speeds. It is an awesome thing to experience, and you're out on the beach. What can be better than that? All right, I'm going to quickly run through one of the things that I went through with a client just the other day. He came in town. He said, hey, Craig, can you tell me where to go and check things out? Because I don't know where to go. So we're not talking about the addresses for the houses. We're talking about where to go for stuff to do. I'm going to tell you one of my favorite places, and I would think that many people's favorite place is going to be Fort Myers Beach. If you're looking for restaurants and bars on the actual beach, which is rare, this coast doesn't have much of it on the south end. You have to go all the way up to St. Pete and Clearwater to find it. So down here, Fort Myers Beach has it. We will go to a place called, am I going to share this one? Yes, Shuckers. It's an awesome place, and the cottage is right next to it. So the cottage at nighttime plays some of the best music in the entire area. You're going to dance there. You're going to be crowded in with a bunch of other people, but it's awesome. For the dinner at Shuckers, you can sit on the ledge looking at the beach with the breezes in your face because they open the big windows so you can take the whole view in. You sit there at sunset, sipping your cold beer, watching everything going on, and eating the blackened grouper. Amazing. That's what you can expect as one of the things you can do down there. There's multiple waterfront places that you can dine at. You've got to get down to Fort Myers Beach and check that out. That's number one. If you're going to be in Cape Coral, the boathouse, as you know, is one of my favorites. It's a tiki hut on the river. You can watch the boats come and go, whether they're fueling up or coming to dine, ripping down the river. There's a beach next door. There's a pier people are fishing at. There's just a lot of activity, and there's normally live music, so absolutely have to try that. The Bimini Bait Shack, it's right at the base of the Sanibel Causeway. It looks out at the Sanibel Causeway. It's about 20 feet in the air, and once again, live music, tiki hut, great food, wonderful different beers there. They also have those frozen drinks like Fat Tuesdays, so check it out. Very affordable menu, so have at it, enjoy the ambiance, have a great meal. The last place that I'm thinking you might want to try downtown Fort Myers. There's a lot of new stuff down there. There is a rooftop restaurant in the Luminary Hotel. There's a place called Oxbow that sits right on the river. Great ambiance. Again, a little bit limited menu, and that might be more of a dinner thing. There's numerous other restaurants that are back into the courtyard. 1025 is one of our favorites. They do some amazing meals there as well. And pre-COVID, there was a bunch of live music there. Now, not so much. We're waiting for that to come back. Space 39, though, is in that same courtyard. There's always live music there, and there's some really good entertainers there. So check out Fort Myers, downtown Fort Myers, if you're looking for something different. And that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what to touch on between Cape Coral, Fort Myers Beach, and just take a little bit of taste at each of the areas in. If you want more information about those things, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to share it. That's a little more about moving to Florida and how things are changing somewhat, but again, many things stay the same. And if you want to know more about moving to this area, check out one of these other videos. And if you've got a specific question for me, you've got to call, text, or email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast.